Hi everyone, today I have for you a lit review episode on Kringle's new limited label 3-wick fall candles. Now I did also order all of the winter candles that will be in an upcoming lit review episode. I want to do them in two separate ones because there are a lot. There are 14 total between the fall and the winter collections. So today I'm just going to focus on unboxing the fall candles, do a cold impression, give you scent notes, show you the label, wax, wicks, and all that stuff. I'll cut it about halfway through and then share with you my post-burn analysis. My name is Tracy. This is the 3-wick Thesis candle channel, and if you are new here, I test all of my candles in a single car converted garage, which has no windows, sealed off door. So keep that in mind when I talk about things like post-burn strength and throw. It may be different in your space. Also, if you're new here, I am joined by two co-hosts, PB, who is zonked out over here on the couch, and Maud, who is behind me, stalking me while taking a bath. You'll see them bounce around. I haven't seen Marco in a bit. Hopefully he'll come down and also let his presence be known. All right, there are two boxes here, and I don't know where the fall candles are. There's a smaller, kind of a more standard, what you would kind of get with like a Goose Creek 6-pack box. And then there's a much larger box that's more typical of like Kringle large jar size when you order it. So I'm just going to open this up, and if I get the holiday candles first, I'm going to set those aside. Also, I will note that I am a Kringle ambassador, so if you want to use my code 3-wick Thesis, it will get you 15% off of anything that's full price. As of the time of this recording, these are all on sale. 3 for $33, and my code won't help you with that, but if you're adding full price stuff to the cart, use my code to get a discount. Also, I did not receive these in PR. I paid for these with my own money, so these were not gifted to me, and everything that I share is my own personal opinion, and the lid just popped off on this one. Okay, good. This is a fall one. Ooh, holy moly, this is strong. I can smell it already. This is the warm banana loaf scent. This picture, y'all, you know, Kringle tends to be very conceptual with their scents, which I'm not always a fan of. When I see scent notes, I want the candle to smell the way it's described. Some of us, I know, you may be one of those people who really like the conceptual stuff, and I support you. What I also really appreciate is when the label is literal, and I feel like this one is, and I love that I'm going to get a literal label and literal scent notes. This is very simple. That's one of the charms and the appeal for me of their limited label 3 wicks, they did this with the spring and summer ones as well, is that you don't have, well, first of all, you don't have amber and everything. Second of all, you don't have 20 scent notes where you can only really smell 3 of them. There's just several. This one has 4, and they are printing these on the front. So normally you would look on the bottom for the scent notes, but with these limited label 3 wicks, they're only going to be found on the front of the label here. So beautiful brown, appropriately colored. This looks like banana bread batter to me. This one has a shiny gold lid. Ooh, look at what a pretty day it is outside. There's some reflection for you. Also, I dressed appropriately. I got my boo shirt on. I put on the Halloween light colors, even though these aren't Halloween candles. Fall vibes, you know? This is 100% soy wax and thin curly wicks. Wicks are off-centered. I'm seeing that up here at the top, this one is kind of real close to the glass, so just something to keep an eye on. It's also right next to the label, so if it were to get really hot, it's possible this could melt. Y'all, this smells delicious. I want to eat it. It's divine. Okay. Ripe bananas, fresh baked bread, cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. Okay, so there's 5 notes on this one. Oh, it's so good. I don't know if I feel like it smells like baked banana bread. This is giving me real batter vibes. It's also giving me like you just pulled the banana loaf out of the oven and you're testing it to see if you're getting any of the moisture on like a toothpick or a knife to see if it's done, and you kind of pull it out and you see the ooey gooey stuff and you just happen to maybe lick that off, which I do. I know you probably shouldn't because there's raw egg in there and possibly raw flour, but you know what? It's how my grandma did it, so that's why I do it. It smells more like that. It doesn't feel like a fully baked banana bread. It feels like a par baked or like a gooey banana bread or like a batter, and I love it. I feel like I'm getting some butteriness out of this. The spice in here is very warm. I think I always worry with anything spice scented that it's going to be overspiced and smell burnt. This is just very pleasant. I am picking up on nutmeg, which I don't usually get when I see it as a scent note. I might argue that the nutmeg is the dominant spice that I'm getting. The cinnamon is subtle. It is not spicy hot. It is baker's cinnamon. I definitely get a sweetness that you could tell me is vanilla, but honestly it just smells like super, super sweet bananas. And the banana in here is perfect. It actually smells like the type of banana you'd put in a banana bread, which is super, super ripe and mushy. It doesn't smell runty to me or artificial. Oh my goodness. That's a winner. Love it. Okay, I see a couple of holiday ones in here. That's holiday, that's holiday. This one is fall. It is French toast. Again, beautiful picture of toasty French toast. It looks well made. I love how the egg chars when you pan fry French toast. You've got butter melting on the top. I don't really see maple syrup on there, which I would expect with French toast, but maybe it's already soaked into the bread. This one has scent notes of warm maple, melted butter, vanilla, and spun sugar. Yeah, it's a maple candle. I get just a very subtle hint of what feels like a breadiness from the French toast. It's there, but it's really buried behind the maple syrup note, which is good. I feel like the spice in here is appropriate for a French toast. You kind of just sprinkle it with cinnamon and sugar. It's not spice heavy, and this smells the same way. I'm not getting a ton of spice, and actually there's not even a spice note on here, but I feel like I'm picking up on a hint of cinnamon. That could be just my brain playing tricks on me because that's what I think of with French toast. There is something in here that doesn't quite work for me. I don't know if it's the vanilla. Yeah, this is gonna sound weird, but there's something that almost smells like slightly metallic, like a dark metal, like iron, and or gives me just a hint of like dog food vibes. And I don't mean like Goose Creek Krusty Krab, SpongeBob Collab candle that was the Krabby Patty that smelled like straight up canned dog food. I mean like just a hint of dog food vibe. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way the vanilla is working in with these scents, but there's something that's not vibing well. That feels a little bit off-putting. Overwhelmingly, it's pleasing. Yeah, I feel like I smell it more on the lid. Kind of reminds me of how the strawberry one and the spring summer one had like a seaweed or like fish vibe to it. This one has this weird metallic dog food vibe to it. I hope that goes away on warm. We'll find out. This one has the same wicks, almost the same color wax. Those are actually really similar. Let me just pull them up. This one's a little bit more orange. And the other one's just a little bit more brown. But very, very similar. Let me make sure I get my lids right. This one goes with this one. So like this one, but I think it's too maple heavy and I'm really craving more breadiness. Okay, I think this one, yeah, toasted cherry macaroon or macaroons. Macarons. Macaroons? I don't know. It's the American version, not the French version. The French version is like the two really thin, very like crumbly, I guess it's like a patty. I think it's made of egg technically. It's a meringue with the filling. These are usually made with coconut. So different type of cookie, but one is like macaron and the other one is macaroon, I think. Help me out, y'all. How do you say it? Put it in the comments for me. So this one is toasted cherry macaroons. It is sugar, cherries, toasted coconut, and vanilla bean. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know I'm not a fan of cherry scents. However, I do like a maraschino cherry, which is what is in this picture here. So I'm kind of hoping it'll be like candy sweet cherry and not medicinal cough drop fruit punch cherry vibes. Let's find out. Yeah, it's okay. I'm actually craving, well, I'm craving a more of everything. I want more coconut and I want the cherry to be more robust. It feels very muted and like over sweetened to me. It's good, I like it. But I was expecting a more syrupy, sweet cherry, like what you get with the marshmallows. You know, you pull them out of the juice, and it's just very cloyingly sweet and just a burst of like candied cherry flavor. And this just feels very sweet with a subtle hint of cherry. And it might really come to life on warm. I'm getting energy of like this is going to be strong on warm. Definitely sweet, definitely cherry. I want more coconut. I do not get toasted, a toasted element. This does not smell browned or like smoky in any way. And vanilla bean. Yeah, you could convince me, but I think it's being overpowered by the sugar. This one is a beautiful pink wax. Now you'll notice with the wax bed here, it's pretty ugly. There's like a hole over here and it almost looks like wrinkly or singed flesh. The color is not helping with that component of it. Just know that this is perfectly normal for soy wax. It's not a defect. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's just the way the fats in the soy wax dry. And it can even look more curdled than this. So this is normal. Don't be alarmed. It's very different from the way paraffin wax dries. Paraffin usually dries really smooth. So sometimes paraffin will be more waxy, like literally it looks waxy or will develop little bubbles. But a soy paraffin blend is usually smooth. This is 100% soy, so you're not going to see that smoothness. Okay, these three are all holiday, so I'm going to scoot those aside. Again, I will do a review on those. It is upcoming. Today I'm just focusing on fall. And there are a total of 8 in the fall collection, so by the way, Maud is in a mood. I don't know if you just saw him bolt up the stairs and run up the corridor over there, but if that comes through as cat noise, I apologize if that's annoying, but that is my life, literally every day. Cats. I have 3 of them. Okay. This one has my invoice in it. No note from Jamie. This one is holiday. This one is fall. Berry Waffles. Again, super realistic picture. You have some waffles with, of course, berries. You have strawberries, blueberries on there. Ton of blueberries. It is waffles, strawberry, blueberry, raspberries, and whipped cream. This one is weird. The waffle note is there, but y'all, first of all, I just want to say this smells soapy to me. I don't know why. I'm getting soap vibes. Second of all, the waffle note to me comes through as, it almost smells like raw bread dough to me. I want like toasted, maybe just a little bit of the like burnt sugar vibe. I want it to smell like it just came off the waffle iron, and I do not get that from this at all. This is very, very berry forward. A weak macerated strawberry vibe. I don't think I get blueberry at all in here, or if I do, it's like one of those big like blueberries, and you think it's going to be really juicy, but it's really just like overgrown and doesn't have much flavor. It smells like that tastes. And I'm kind of let down in the same way. Like I really want juiciness from the blueberry, and it's just not here. I swear I'm getting like a spice note in here. Something smells like cinnamon to me. Yeah, I don't like this one, y'all. This one is a huge letdown. Yeah, it smells soapy to me, and it feels like underripe or like overgrown with no flavor fruit. Kind of what our fruit's like in the grocery store these days. Beautiful, vibrant pink wax. I'm also looking at the pour on this one. I guess it's the same. It looks low to me. Yeah, I feel like it's under poured. There's a huge gap there. It looks about the same. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I can't get the jars totally even, but I feel like this one has more wax. I'm going to trust my gut because I buy a lot of these candles and I'm pretty sure this one is under poured. That's sad. But life. Oh yeah, and this one has a different lid. It's got that like hammered copper lid that we saw with the spring summer collection. Next we have apple cider. Beautiful cup of apple cider with the apple slice in it as a garnish. This one is appropriately colored. It literally looks like an apple cider drink. Gold lid. There's a better look at the wax. Kind of a brownish red. This has scent notes of red apple, sweet, cinnamon, bourbon, and wood. This is very light on cold, especially for an apple fragrance. I feel like I'm getting a hint of bourbon, but y'all, it smells like the happy hour bourbon. It smells a little bit, it almost smells like how alcohol can sometimes have like a char smell or like a burnt smell to it. It's not the same bourbon note that's in their other boozy candles. Was it like Speakeasy is really delicious. I can't remember if that has a bourbon note in it or not, but they do alcohol in their candles well. This is not done well. I do not like how that smells. And maybe the smoky vibe is also coming from the wood note in here. This does not scream apple cider to me, like at all. I feel like I barely get apple. It smells like cheap liquor. It's definitely sweet. Oh, y'all, I don't like this one. This is almost return worthy. If I smell like this one section, I get a hint of apple. Yep. That's not a favorite. I hope that changes on warm. Apple Harvest. Beautiful picture of a basket of apples. Looks like they've just been picked. Beautiful red, almost a pinkish hue to the wax. Scent notes on the side here. Same gold lid. There's a look at the wax and wicks on the inside. And this is fresh apple, bergamot, sandalwood, and autumn fog. I like this one. This one's nice. This reminds me a lot of, there's a Goose Creek one recently that smelled like this. It's like leaves, not BBW type leaves, just like actual leaves that have fallen on the ground with a beautiful apple scent. I want to say, I'm going to put a picture of it up here. I want to say it's this one that smelled that way. I don't have the empties anymore. It's giving me those vibes. The apple is sweet, a little bit tart, very juicy. And then you just have like this earthy base note that feels like fresh fallen leaves. Kind of like the energy and the vibe you would get if you were walking through an apple orchard. Because if you've never walked through one, the smell is divine. And it's a mixed bag of like rotting apples on the ground, which smell a little bit fermented, fresh juicy apples that are ready to be picked, and then just like the fall air that comes with harvesting apples during a particular time of year. And I feel like I'm getting those exact vibes there. So they nailed it on this one. I actually really, really like this one. I hope that that one performs well, because if it does, and y'all know I'm not crazy about apple scents, I really like that one. That's a good one. Autumn Bloom. This is one I thought about passing on. It was literally the only one I didn't want. And then I was like, just put it in the bag and do the review. If I don't like it, I'll destash it. I love the sunflowers on the front though. It feels a little bit, It feels almost like a Van Gogh painting. I mean, it's a photograph, but it feels very Van Gogh-esque to me. I love the little pumpkin over here on the side. And it is a pumpkin color wax with the copper hammered lid. There's a look at the wax pool there. This is scent notes of chrysanthemum, apple blossom, wild hyacinth, and musk. And I'm not a huge fan of florals. Yeah, it's okay. It is not super sharp, which is good. I think I really struggle with like really sharp white florals, like a honeysuckle. Sometimes apple blossoms bother me. Lily of the Valley is so overpowering to my nose. So this is, it does have apple blossom in it, but it's like a subtle white floral. It is not super sharp. It is not smacky in the nose. There's also a sweetness to this and more of an earthy vibe to this. And I don't know if that's earthiness is coming from the musk. Yeah, it's just like the perfect balance of a sweet and sharp floral with what feels like some earthiness. And it does give me more of a fall vibe. There's something that feels cool about this scent and not like warm and sunshiny vibe that I would get from like a spring or a summer floral. So I like it, just not crazy about florals. So that's going to affect my ability to rank this completely fairly. And let me just make sure we have one more, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, one more. I think this is the last fall one. Yeah, those are both holiday. Yes. Okay. So the last one in this video is Crispy Leaves. And look at the puppy dog. I am not a dog person, but y'all, who can resist that face? He is so happy. Or she. It could be a girl doggy. Beautiful maple leaves on the front. I love the fall colors. The wax is a very deep reddish orange. Gold lid on this one. Wax look a bit off kilter there. Not too bad. More bubbles. This is autumn leaves. Citrus, cedarwood, cinnamon, and amber. Yeah, this smells just like Bath & Body Works leaves. Very similar. I get apple first and foremost, despite the fact that there is no apple note in here. I get citrus. I don't get, like, they're saying autumn leaves. I don't get a natural leaf note in here. Not like I do with Apple Harvest. So if you want a more literal apple and autumn leaf candle, go with the Apple Harvest. If you want that really fruity Bath & Body Works leaves type, you want this one, Crispy Leaves. This does not at all smell like Crispy Leaves. This is a conceptual scent. Yeah, and you get the cinnamon. It's just like classic cinnamon apple with citrus. I don't get the amber in this. There's like a hint of perfuminess at the base, which is probably the amber. But as y'all know, one of the reasons I don't like apple scents is they read perfumey to me. So to my nose, that perfumey amber that's in here just feels like tart apple. But I think it's amber. Yeah, it's good. I like it, but not what I would assume based off of the scent notes. Okay, let me rank these for us, and I'm going to do it from my least favorite to my most favorite. And no big surprise on these last two. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. More of that. It smells like raw batter to me. Oh, it's not good. It's not good on cold. Okay, anyway. I have to choose one for last. This is a real toss-up. I'm going to go with the apple cider one. I just don't like the cheap bourbon vibe I'm getting from this one. It reminds me of like back in the days, you know, early to mid-20s, where I couldn't really afford good alcohol, and you kind of just drank what was ever at the get-together where you were at. Grad school was the same way. And you drank some like really nasty stuff. It smells like that. It just brings like memories of being hungover when I should have probably been working and like, you know, building my career in education. So not exactly nostalgic for me. Number 7, I'm going to do Berry Waffles just because this is such a huge disappointment. I mean, I feel like I'm getting a bread note. It smells like bread with overripe, oversized fruit. So that's going to be number 7. Should say something to you if the floral is beating those two out. Those two are normally scents I would really like, and yet a floral is winning. So number 7, I'm going to do Autumn Blooms. It's not bad for a fall floral, and I do enjoy it, but florals just aren't my thing. So if you like fall florals, I think you would really enjoy that candle, at least on my cold impression. I am going to do French Toast next. And I do really like this one. I just think it's really maple heavy, and I want it to be more balanced with the breadiness of the French toast and the butter. I do smell butter in there. I also am craving some more cinnamon. I'm going to do the Toasted Cherry Macaroons next. I want more cherry. I want more coconut. It smells good though. Like I'm ready to try this on warm. I'm really curious to see how that's going to evolve. Number 3, I'm going to do Crispy Leaves. And this might shock some of you because you know I'm not an Apple fan, but Leaves is a fragrance that I've liked from Bath & Body Works for years. And I don't mind it. And I like the citrus in here. I can actually pick up on that. It smells like orange. It's yummy. 2 and 1 are a real toss-up. And honestly, they feel tied to me, but they don't belong in the same category. That is Warm Banana Loaf, because this is such a good gourmand. I mean, just straight up smells like banana bread to me. Sweet, not runty, legit banana, perfectly well balanced. But then I also really like the earthy, natural vibe of the Apple Harvest. I love the way this is balancing like a leaf note with apple. It is very fall. Whereas I feel like this one doesn't specifically read fall to me, the Banana Loaf. So these are a toss-up, but I'm going to put Banana Loaf in number 2 and Apple Harvest in number 1. So, y'all, you gotta know, if you watch my channel regularly, that if a waffle and French toast rank lower than the apple candles, there's something that's a bit off in there. But we'll see how it changes on warm. I'm going to cut here. I'm going to go test these. I will spend hours with each one. I will get a first burn impression. So how do these evolve on warm, strength and throw? If I have any that are dudding out or I feel like are unscented, I will try it at least a second time, maybe a third time, because sometimes it takes 3 burns for a soy candle to come to life. So I'll be right back after the cut to share with you my findings. All right, y'all, I am back after having tested all of these in my usual testing location, which if you are new here, is a converted single car garage with no windows and the door has been sealed off. No air circulation down there, so keep that in mind. This may not reflect how a candle would throw or have strength in your space. I'm going to put these in rank order from my least favorite to my favorite on warm. Gotta tell you, there were some real shifts in the ranking. There's really surprisingly, only 1 candle in here I don't really like. And the rest of them on warm are excellent. So even the ones where I was like, ooh, no, this is not good, on cold, for the most part, ramped up and really became beautiful on warm. So I think this particular collection is a testament to how important it is to burn your candles, because things really can evolve, or lamp them, whatever you do, right? Warm them up, because it can really change the scent. And number 8 really changed as well, but for me, not for the better. And I'm going to put in the 8th spot this Autumn Bloom. I love the label. I love the color of the wax. The issue for me is that on warm, this becomes a very heavy floral. I don't know that I would say that it's super sharp like a gardenia or a lily of the valley. I'm trying to think of the other ones that usually offend my nose. But it is very... it's like polleny is the right word. It feels more like a daisy vibe, if you're familiar with daisy in candles. And it definitely is the hyacinth that I'm getting a lot of. There's the hyacinth scent note, which I had forgotten. I feel like that came to life more on warm. On cold, I got more of the mums, which is the chrysanthemum. I don't get apple blossom at all. But on warm, I was reminded of when I go to the farmer's market sometimes, and I'll be walking and just kind of spacing out, looking around, people watching, thinking about what vegetables I need, whatever. And all of a sudden I'll just get this whiff of really overwhelming floral, and it kind of smells good, but then it also seems really like sharp and very floral and almost overwhelming. And it is almost always the hyacinths that are being sold. And it's a pretty limited harvest window on those florals too. So I don't see them at the market very often, but when I do, they kind of fill like the whole aisle with floral scent. This candle does the same thing when lit. So you have to like hyacinth and you have to like mum. I actually like the mum note in here, but it gets completely buried by the hyacinth. I almost feel like if you're really sensitive to florals, this could be a headache-inducing one. It didn't have that effect on me, but I also didn't stay in the room where it was being tested. I like to kind of burn them, walk into the space, walk out, sit with them for about 5-10 minutes trying to get a sense of what they feel like. I didn't sit long enough to where this might give me a headache, but it was strong enough. And the only other floral candle I've ever really felt like I need to blow this out is Bath & Body Works Gardenia. It was almost to that level for me in terms of strength. So if you're looking for a mum hyacinth, super strong, just like powerhouse floral, you'll want this one. Good throw. It filled space. I don't have any issues with it being elusive. You knew this candle was in the room. Not for me though. This will be a D-stash, or I will gift it to a friend. I don't, it's too much for me. I can't handle it. Number 7, this one bumped down quite a bit. And that is the Toasted Cherry Macaroons. I still like it, but here's why it's getting bumped down. On cold, I feel like you get, even now I can smell it since I've burned it. You get like a very sweet, almost candy-like cherry. There's like a buttery element to it. On warm, however, I get what feels almost like a burnt cookie vibe from this. It actually smells more like over-baked pie crust. And this happens to me a lot when I bake my pies, where I'm like, well, it's not quite done. I'm going to leave it in just for a few more minutes, and then it goes too far and it gets kind of too brown and you get a really toasty, pastry, like dry note. That's what I get from this on warm. I still don't pick up on this note that's supposed to be toasted coconut. There's definitely a coconut sweetness, but to me, it smells more like the coconut that's inside of like a Mounds bar, like sans the chocolate, right? There's no chocolate vibe in here. But if you were to just eat the inside of a Mounds bar and it's super sugary and kind of cloying and very sweet coconut, I get that from this candle, not a toasted coconut. And maybe that's where that like burnt pastry note is coming from. That's supposed to be the toasted note. It's not well done. I still like it. I'll still burn it. This isn't a D-stash level dislike. But I was a little bit surprised by pastry vibes that come out in this when it's not a note on here. The other thing I will say is that the vanilla really ramps up on warm. It's a very sweet vanilla bakery. It's almost too sweet for me. I'm actually craving, which for me says a lot, more of the cherry. I'm not always a cherry fan, but in this one, it just feels in general imbalanced. It feels imbalanced and it needs some fine tuning. However, if you like cherry, you like sweet coconut, and you also don't mind a pastry note, I would say pick this one up. Again, I'll enjoy it, but not my favorite in the bunch. Now, in terms of strength and throw, this was a strong one, leading towards medium. So not a powerhouse, not super strong, but definitely present in the room. And it had good throw. It filled out the space. No issues with it being elusive or having pockets of scent in the room. Where are we at? 6? Yes, number 6 is going to be Apple Cider. Now this one on cold, I think I had it ranked higher. Yeah, it was last on cold because the bourbon note in here is stinky on cold. And this is one where I feel like you really have to burn it for it to evolve and become beautiful. It's still not my preferred apple cider scent. However, I do like it. And that's mostly because I don't feel like this smells like apple cider. On warm, it is a very, very delicious, and again, says a lot coming from me because I'm not always an apple fan, apple scent. It, though, to me, doesn't smell like cider. It smells like those apple juices that come in the little, are they apple shaped? I was going to say they're like baseball shaped, but I think maybe they're supposed to look like apples. I'll pop a picture up here. I feel like it smells like that juice tastes. So it's not cidery enough for me, but it's definitely a very, very juicy apple. And then I also pick up on this like earthy skin of an apple note that reminds me of biting into a Red Delicious. And Red Delicious skin is usually pretty tough, kind of flavorless, but it has this like earthy, waxy note to it that I feel like I pick up in this candle. So you kind of get like the whole apple, but more juice than cider. And the reason why I think I'm getting a juice vibe is because that bourbon goes from, yeah, smelling kind of like cheap bourbon on cold to just serving as a sweetener on warm. So it's like the sweetness of the juice. I don't think it's boozy on warm at all. It just smells like very, very sweet apple juice. You're also picking up on a very mild spicy note from the cinnamon. It's not spicy hot. It's kind of a warm cinnamon, which I really appreciate. And then in terms of strength and throw, this one is a medium leaning towards strong. So it's a good performer. And it also had good throw. It filled the space. In general, this collection is solid in terms of strength and throw, which actually really surprises me because I compare most of my candles to Goose Creek and Bath & Body Works, which are usually strong, not always. And Kringle, I tend to think of as more of a light fam, like they are a lighter scent, and you really have to buy the larger vessels sometimes to get what you want. But in this case, I feel like these 3 wicks are performing on par, if not better, than what I would get from Goose Creek or Bath & Body Works. So I do like this one. It did perform well. It just wasn't good enough to end up higher on the list. Berry Waffle, y'all, jumped from 7 to number 5. And I'm going to say, this ain't a waffle candle. I'm still going to stand by that in the cold impression. That didn't change. But do I like this? I do. I do like the scent of this candle. However, you really have to walk into the warm experience with no expectations. Because if you walk into the warm, I would say, or the cold impression expecting a waffle note with berries on it, you will be disappointed. However, if you walk into the warm burning experience imagining that this is one of those like Hostess hand pies, do you know what I'm talking about? I'll put a picture up here. It's got like a pastry crust that's a little bit sugary. It's like a pie crust with like a sugar coating on it. I think it's like powdered sugar icing. And then you have a very jammy, artificial like berry inside. That's what this smells like on warm. What I get more than anything smells like pie filling, and like specifically preserved pie filling, like canned pie filling that you would buy at the store, not that you made at home with fresh fruit. So for that reason, I like it. I think it smells really good. It's very jammy, it's very fruity, it's very sweet, but it smells like a Hostess hand pie, not waffles with fresh fruit on it. I don't get any sort of, and to be fair, it's not on here, I don't get a maple note. I don't get things like butter that I would expect with a waffle vibe. Again, those notes aren't on here. It really is just waffles with the fruit and whipped cream. I also don't get a whipped cream vibe from this on warm at all. So think hand pie, think artificial pie filling, and you would like this candle if that's your vibe. This one also medium to strong on strength and good throw. So again, just a stellar performer. All right, number 4 also bumped down just a little bit. It's the Crispy Leaves, and it's not because this isn't a good scent. I do really like it. I think for me, it just feels unoriginal. So there's like this vibe I'm getting from a couple of these candles. And on the one hand, I'm very excited. And on the other hand, I'm like, really? If this is the direction that Kringle continues to take their 3 wicks, I will be happy as a clam. Because there are a couple in here that I feel like they're trying to dupe other scents, both from Goose Creek and from Bath & Body Works. I don't know if Bath & Body Works has a coconut cherry candle. I know that Goose Creek did several years ago, so I'm like, ooh, is that the Goose Creek dupe? This, to me, smells almost just like Bath & Body Works Leaves. And the reason why I say I'm excited is because, honestly, I think Kringle does 3-wick candles better. I think the painted jars are more attractive. I think the soy wax is a cleaner burn. And I don't mean that in that like there's less toxins in the air. I mean there's less soot in the jar. Because anything you burn is still combusting. It's still releasing carbons into your air. But it's cleaner in that it looks better. It doesn't get as sooty. It doesn't get as murky of a wax pool. There's all sorts of reasons to go with a Kringle candle. And where Kringle usually doesn't fit the bill for me is with strength and throw. And so with this collection, I feel like I'm getting good strength, good throw. The wax is pretty, they're performing well, And I'm getting candles that smell like some of my favorites from Goose Creek and Bath & Body Works. To be clear, the coconut cherry one is not my favorite from Goose Creek, but you know what I mean. If Kringle continues down this line, and maybe this is where their 3 wicks are going to go, I don't know. As an ambassador, I haven't heard anything. But if this is the direction they take it, where they start duping a lot of my favorites from Goose Creek and Bath & Body Works, those two companies will lose my business. And I will start buying 3 wicks from Kringle. Because this is a phenomenal leaves dupe. It's very strong, it's delicious, and it's 100% soy and going to have a clean burn without dudding. Usually these candles don't dud for me. I think I have the Country Line candles from Kringle have dudded, but for the most part, they're good performers. So on the one hand, I'm excited at the prospect that maybe this is the direction Kringle is going to go. On the other hand, I kind of want to see new stuff from Kringle. I want to see original stuff that isn't necessarily duping Bath & Body Works. But to be fair, I love Goose Creek. I'm looking at a whole stack of Goose Creek candles right here. And they dupe a lot of Bath & Body Works too. So it's a thing, I get it. But this, if you like leaves and you're looking for 100% soy replacement for Bath & Body Works version, you will absolutely love this candle. The amber note in here, I will say, does come out a little bit more on warm. It is not too strong in the amber realm. It actually just hints a little bit at the candle that came out this fall, Honey Crisp Hayrides. There's like a perfumey essence to that one from Bath & Body Works. So this is like all leaves with just like a dash of Honeycrisp Hayride. You get just a little tinge of perfuminess I don't feel like I get as much of in leaves. And this does have a citrus note in it that does come through. It reads almost like the juiciness of a pomander, the oranges with the clove in it. But it's cinnamon, not clove. So you get like a spicy citrus element to it, but overwhelmingly this is apple. I would say solid medium in terms of strength. I would put it on par with Bath & Body Works candle in terms of strength. Not a powerhouse, not super strong, but delivers. And it did have good throw. I had no issues with it filling the space in the room. So if you like leaves, I would say pick this one up. Bumped it down a little bit just because it didn't feel original to me. Number 3, this one started at further down the list, I think. Yeah, it was 5 and now it's 3. That is French Toast. This smells like a dupe, and I'm not saying it is, but if you're looking for a dupe of Goose Creek's maple butter, this is it. It smells just like it. Like, hands down, it smells just like maple butter to me. I get a very strong butter note. I get more maple on cold. On warm, that butter note comes out. It literally smells like the butter that you just put on pancakes. So you get like a hint of like starchiness from the pancake. You get the melting ooey gooey butter, and then you get the sense that someone has poured like hot maple syrup over the melting butter, and that like whiff you get when that happens, that's what this smells like. It's authentic to me. I don't get vanilla in this at all on warm. I don't, spun sugar. It just smells like sweet maple to me. I don't get spun sugar notes in here. So if you like Goose Creek's maple butter, you would like this one. This I would categorize as a medium leaning towards strong. I do think Goose Creek's is stronger, but y'all, that one is like a brick. That candle, maple butter from Goose Creek, is a powerhouse. You smell it on you when you walk outside for 20 minutes after you've left the room. So that thing is a beast. This is not that level, but it is a strong performer and also had good throw. It filled the space. However, I will note that it was stronger further away. So sometimes I say candles are elusive, and that means that like you literally can't smell it in some pockets of the room. With this one, you could smell it in the whole room, but some pockets were much stronger, and the pockets that were further away were the ones that I feel like I got more strength from. So it has good projection as well. It's able to really throw the scent across the room. If you like maple and butter, you need this one. I don't feel like I get toast. To me, it smells more like a pancake note. It's very subtle. Number 2, I'm giving to Apple Harvest, and this one switched, 1 and 2 switched places. Apple Harvest, delicious. I love that there's this blend of earthiness with fruitiness. The apple in here is very bright, very juicy, a little bit sweet. It actually reminds me a lot of a Honeycrisp apple. Just kind of very present, very tart, very juicy, very sweet all at the same time. And then there's this really pretty earthiness that ends up, they're calling it, you know, bergamot, sandalwood, and autumn fog. To me, it just ends up smelling like outdoorsy. I get like a fallen leaf element to it. It feels very earthy and kind of grounding. And that really pairs nicely and rounds out that really sharp, bright, juicy, sweet note from the apple to have like a darker, earthy, more dirty. It's not like your petrichor vibe. It like literally smells like you walked through a pile of leaves. So I love it. It feels very fall. I feel like it's a little bit edible with inedible. It's gorgeous. Strong strength, solid strength. I would say it's not leaning towards medium. It's not a powerhouse, but like just perfectly strong and good throw. No issues with throw on that one at all. And number one, y'all, never thought I would love a banana loaf candle this much, but yet I do. First note on my list, beast, exclamation point. Bonkers. This is possibly one of the strongest candles I've smelled. Like, this thing is a beast, and it is a creeper. This candle crept up the stairs over here. This is where I test down here in my garage. So it's a half flight down into the garage where I test. It crept up there, turned the corner. So right beside that door is my half flight that goes up into like a hallway area where the bathroom is, my bedroom, which is also my office. My desk is on the far side of the room. Sitting at my desk working. I think I was burning mahogany apple next to me, which by the way is pleasant. I am learning that mahogany from Bath & Body Works is like a small dog. It's all bark and no bite. More on that later. Sitting there burning mahogany apple, and I'm like, why do I keep smelling banana? Is Jason mashing bananas in the kitchen? You know, like I have this like, it's weird to smell banana when you're burning mahogany apple. And every time it's like, oh, it's the candle. Wow, that thing is a creeper. So not only is it a beast, it's strong, but it crept upstairs and was filling my office. So if you want a strong banana candle, you want this one. What does it smell like? Why should you get it? Now, on cold, I feel like it smelled more like batter. On warm, it literally smells like you have just pulled banana bread out of the oven. Fully cooked, delicious. You have a very sugary, sweet, ripe banana vibe to it. It smells fresh baked. It's not overbaked. It's not burnt sugar. It's just like the perfect banana bread scent. Very authentic, like the most authentic banana bread that I've smelled. I think it's better than Main Street Bakery. To be fair, that's banana pudding. It's better. I'm sorry, y'all, you Goose Creek lovers. I love them too. I'm not a huge fan of their banana candles. It's better than Goose Creek's banana bread. And their banana bread is good. I like it more than I thought I would. But this is stellar. And this is what I'm saying. If Kringle can go the way of taking fan favorites from their competitors and doing it better, I would, hands down, no question, pay $11 for one that is a beast like this. If you like banana bread, you need this in your cart. I mean, just get it. Don't even think about it. There's no reason to think about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful scent. I put in my notes, makes me hungry. Like I actually want to eat banana bread now. And I'm not a huge banana bread fan. So it's really good. Okay, let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about any of these candles. If you've picked them up yourself and want to share what your experience is, I would love that, even if it's not the same as mine. Helps me better understand what the possibilities are. It helps my other viewers understand. So put that in the comments as well. If you are shopping at Kringle and you're adding full price stuff to the cart and you would like to use my ambassador code, it will save you 15% on the full price items, and I will make a small commission. But also, don't feel obligated, and you can check your rewards account because sometimes it pays more for you to use the rewards than it does to use an ambassador code. So be sure to check what you have available. And these, if they're still on sale, 3 for $33, the code doesn't work on it anyways, so don't fret. And use it if you want, but don't feel obligated. Buy in increments of 3 if you're picking these up. Otherwise, you're paying full price, which I think is $24 full price if you're not getting them as a 3 for $33 deal. If you appreciated this lit review, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed because I have the winter 3-wick limited label collection review coming out very soon, within the next couple of days. And you're going to want to see that as well. There are also some upsets in that one. I'm still testing it. I have 2 more left to burn. in general enjoying, but some are just like, what is happening? And you're going to want to hear about it. All right, y'all. Take care. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.